Okay, so look at this, one of the original core teams back at it. We've been speaking for 30 minutes on secret centralized information, just starting the recording now.
Mostly about planting, digging ponds, and
digging ponds, traveling,
yeah.
working on amazing projects, all these different things. And yeah, you know, it's not always possible to record absolutely everything. And sometimes it feels good not to have to, you know that you're being recorded. But at the same time, we also know how important it is to keep everybody else connected. So we're in the C4C GTPBL. What are we going to call this? Discovery meeting. It seems to be quite wide open. So whatever it is, it's pretty exciting to be here. And we're going to, next week, we're going to meet a half an hour earlier and hope that we can be getting a few other people in for time zone stuff. So, you know, what I've been thinking about is the bounty. You know, the Dework is awesome. I'm also going through the Canvas Gimbal Labs bounty and escrow, as they call it, GBTE mini course. Have you done that, Nori, or not?
I haven't. It's on my to-do. Maybe this weekend. I still want to do that Canvas course and learn the tool a little better, because I think it's going to be a key component to what we're doing. Actually, if I can share something, I put something together yesterday.
Perfect. Please do. I finished the Canvas course yesterday. Yay! Like this. It was like, yeah, finally.
You got some gimbals for that?
Oh, I don't know. I've let James know, you know, that it's done. But it was, yeah, really, you know, good bounty on that. I think the bounties are done on that one. I'm not 100% sure, because I see the treasury for it is at 0. So, but anyways.
Can you see the Miro board?
Absolutely beautiful colors, by the way. Absolutely love that color scheme.
Thank you.
I did a Miroverse this past week, and they were talking about, I have to go through ours. And anyway.
So yesterday, Newman and I just got together to start brainstorming some stuff, because we were putting together and thinking about Dework. So we thought it'd be good to just do some stuff. So I put a little link here for, this is Dework itself, so you can get to there. There is a Cardano for Climate Dework, and it kind of looks like this. And here's just some notes from the meeting, but we started thinking about what kind of possible bounties we might have. And let me actually share the other screen.
So can we add this link to this Miro board to the main one that we have?
Yes.
Perfect. You know, like in the directory, that'd be just
we'll definitely put that there.
Absolutely amazing to be able to have that connection in.
So this is the Cardano for Climate Dework. And what I did was I created 4 projects, each one mapping to one of the 4 funded proposals that we have, because that has budget and a treasury of sorts that we can use to pay bounties. So we have our community hub operations, we have onboarding through events, impact onboarding, and community collaboration standards. And so this is all linked to GitHub. And if you go to overview, you can kind of see all the projects that we have, and then the open tasks. And there's a test task here. And then I kind of created one in the community collaboration standards, just as something, as an idea. This one is assign yourself to this Dework task and submit your work. And basically it's, you add yourself as an assignee, submit a message about how you're feeling today, and maybe a photo where you're at as your submission, and then you'll receive 20 gimbals, and then we'll just keep track of that. And it's just a way to get people in and doing something with Dework, to learn how it flows and works, and what it means to assign yourself what it means to submit work, because there's a big submit work button here. And we'll probably create some tutorials and videos on how to do this as well and have these live sessions. But I thought it'd be a great a great exercise to get people in and looking at stuff.
Can we do that right away? Like get some sort of tutorial and get our community involved? Because, you know, we're talking about, we want that week off before proposal finalization right now. So this is the way we're going to do it, by giving the work to everybody else to do. And yeah, awesome. And I say
so
that with tongue in cheek too, for whoever's watching this, because you know, we've done it, we do it without.
Yeah, so that brings us to, we need actual bounties. So created some brainstorm boards to say what could possible bounties be for each of the categories. So this is like the community hub operations, could be things like meeting note scribe, meeting facilitator, maybe gimbals for attending meeting like Swarm was doing. And then ideas for events, impact onboarding, and then community collaboration standards. And so, yeah, the thought was to bring this to the core team meeting on Tuesday to go over it, and then to the Wednesday meeting for the larger community, so we can go with something fairly well thought out.
Awesome. Does this include climate change, the challenge setting as well, or not? Or
no,
did you?
These are the 4 areas where we actually have little piles of ADA that we can pay out.
Okay, so that's the funded, specifically funded projects. I'm wondering about writing the proposals for Fund 9.
Sorry, we could add a 5th, because we do have gimbals as well. So we could have a gimbal brainstorm, and then maybe we do gimbals for helping write the proposal, or maybe that's part of the hub operations.
Hub would be good, you know, something somewhere where it comes out of something that's already had seed funding, you know, that it moves on, and then it creates something more sustainable, grows something, right? We tilled the soil. The seeds are planted now, you know, and hopefully we'll see some fruit, more fruit out of it.
Proposal. Right.
I think proposal writing and including the challenge. And by the way, we need to do closing report of Fund 7 as well, right?
Right.
And video.
So reports on anything. Yeah, for Fund 7, for that one, closing reports for Fund 7.
Yeah. But it's brilliant, Nori. Thank you guys for doing it. I mean, it's really great.
Well, even these reports and things, we know they're coming.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's on it already, you know, and they're taking these pieces as we're working and proving the work, you know, instead of waiting to that last minute, you know, to get it done. Yeah.
Normally we need someone that is kind of, but we know that is responsible on that, right? Because otherwise it just get in the last minute, and we know that we need to do it, so we just do it. But,
so the deadlines have to be high, like we have to, the bounties that James has set up can have deadlines on, and once that deadline's met, the tokens and everything go back to where they were if they weren't completed, if the bounty wasn't completed. The one thing I see about bounties, though, is if somebody claims to do it and they hold, it's like holding a library book, right? You know, they've got hold of this, and what if they don't get it done? It's only that one little fear, you know. Do we have a backup plan B?
So yeah, anybody can take a bounty, and basically these also have deadlines. So you can say, if you click this more button here, a due date, and then you select a date it's due. So we can use that to help make sure people know this needs to be due by then. We can also put skills in. And so if it's like, you need to have writing skills, then that's a writing task. So people can search for these as well, saying, I love writing. What are all the bounties that involve writing? And then the assignee, you can say, it's based on a Discord role. And then you pick a role from the Discord server. So you can say you have to be a climate champion. And this is where we need to think about what roles we have on the server. Because right now it's just admin, core team, climate champion, but we could have
lurker,
meeting facilitator, community member, whatever it is. So I'll just put climate champion for now. So you can select these, and they're based on the roles on Discord, which actually brings me to my next one. Let me reshare the Miro board.
So a person can start with small tasks, right? There's a place to begin, right? You know, this is the when you say you're going to get something done, Yoram says he's going to get something done. I say we're going to get it done. I might be a little bit late or last minute, but when we say it, we know that we'll get it done. So somebody new can have the opportunity to prove themselves in this.
Yeah, we can definitely have small
way.
tasks without. I put this together yesterday as a little kind of thing to help me think it through. So this is a Dework and Little Fish with PBL idea. And I started with the goal, how do we onboard new people, incentivize their work, and reward action? And basically through three main things, there's Dework, there's PBL, and then there's the Little Fish colony stuff. So we have bounties through Dework, and alongside that, we're talking with Little Fish around where people can find their Ikigai, and there's intrinsic motivation for the community to be happy. But they also produce actions, which mints NFTs, and then the C4C colonies buy them, and then they're rewarded for actions. So that's kind of the Little Fish model. And then up here, we have the Dework model, where it's a Discord and GitHub integration. And GitHub is used really for transparency. So it records all the transactions and everything that happens. It's preserved in GitHub, so anyone can go and look what happened. And through Discord, you have notifications, and it will spawn discussion threads on specific tasks. And then we just talked about roles in the server. And based on roles, you can apply for or get bounties. And then
so looking at this, currently it's centralized. But our work towards the Dework and PBL or Gimbal tokens, the bounties in that is going to be towards something decentralized. So when we talk about transparency, there is that little glitch where we have all this off-chain information that goes on-chain when there's the actual transaction. So somebody centralized has to do that at this point. But we are.
And that's where PBL comes in.
Yeah.
So through PBL, we can do onboarding and create a little onboarding course. So somebody can go there, find out what C4C is about, how we do things, and then they get clarity on how to be a community member. So that gives them that. We also generate best practices and improve other communities through that. We're funded to actually do that this time. And then the other one is certification. So we can have courses that say, here's a little course. If you take it, then you're qualified to run one of our events.
This is the tokens, you know, the tokens going in level 1.
Yeah.
And then you come out with a level 2 token and you move through that. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
And the certification can be a prerequisite to get specific roles on the server. So that's how that ties in. So then when somebody is a meeting facilitator or a scribe or a event,
they've gone through a Governance Alive seminar, right?
Yeah, or something like that. Then we know that they qualify for the role. And then anytime somebody creates a bounty, they'll say must have the role of meeting facilitator. And we know that they've been through the course. And this way, nobody has to decide someone is a meeting facilitator. The PBL gives everybody in the community the chance to just do it and learn how to do it.
So it ties in very much, I believe, with what Little Fish is doing too, with the minting the NFTs. So, you know, if there was something in there that, you know, a wallet holds an NFT that certifies they've taken this course, you know, that's kind of this paper trail of, like, when I think about all the courses I've taken, there is no trail unless I phone everybody up, ask them to print it up, and then I send it in somewhere, you know, to say these are my qualifications. But if we've got it on a blockchain, one thing comes to mind. Damien Cardano Trees said that you can add layers to NFTs. I'm curious about that and where this might fit in. If there's a certification level 1 NFT, can you add onto the same NFT maybe different components that you've been able to do?
Yeah, or maybe we start to integrate with DIDs and Atala Prism kind of stuff, so that you have your identity and then you have certain on-chain qualification things that are issued through the PBL programs for the different levels and stuff too.
Cool. And I don't understand the Atala Prism yet. So
there's lots of stuff we can do, but as it started to come together, I was looking kind of at the core community and what they get out of it. And there's incentive for doing stuff. There's that continual growth, there's clarity, there's intrinsic motivation through the Ikigai stuff and being rewarded for action. So it kind of is a pretty beautiful model, tying up the bounties with the little fish, with the PBL stuff. It all works together so nicely.
And it couldn't have happened 2 weeks ago.
No, if we're all developing in parallel.
Yeah, I love it.
Convergence.
I want to add one. First of all, I love it. I mean, it's beautiful. I don't understand everything perfectly, but I love it. I want to add one, and it's all connecting. I mean, it's a nice art design as well. I want to just try and add an ID. Tell me if it's fitting or not. The Ikigai model, right? How you call it? The model of the do what you love.
Yeah.
How you call Ikigai? Okay. So one idea that I had.
Ikigai.
Ikigai. It's a tough one for me. Ikigai.
Just think icky. Ooh, icky. But it's not.
Ikigai. Okay.
Icky. But it's absolutely the guy must make it absolutely opposite of icky.
Completely, I agree. So
Ikigai.
You'll
remember that now.
Yeah, I hope so. So one idea that came to mind, I was actually chatting with Czech on that. I loved their last presentation in Little Fish, where they actually, I don't know if you saw it, like you played around with different actions that was around, and then there was the Ikigai model. And I said, you know what's happened if any new member that come on board can see 50 actions that he can make in the community, and he put the action on the Ikigai, right? So then actually immediately you can see each member, what is his
passion,
wow moment, and then you actually can facilitate the connection to the actions that you need to make, whatever, if it's through whichever model it is. If you need actually to make a PBL for that, or if you can go through a bounty, or you can go for. But I think this game is a very cool game actually. To see each one that it's kind of a game, right? It's not a game, but each one that comes in can see where is his comfort zone, right? In terms of, okay, what you love, and actually what you love, and we can actually make money. Imagine someone new comes in and we just need an archivist, right? Just an example. And he comes in and see, I can do what I love and I actually make money out of it. I'm in immediately in this community, right? I mean, so I really love that kind of as something that can be for newcomers, as is kind of welcoming.
Does Little Fish have this? You said it's a kind of a game. Do they have?
They don't have it yet. No, it's an idea that I mean, when I saw everything, I spoke with Czech and I said, let's do that as kind of as a game, and he might even apply to as a proposal for that, kind of as a welcoming idea for.
Otherwise, how do we get that information right now? We send out a Google form, and then it goes into a spreadsheet, and then somebody has to go analyze that information, and then we have to connect. This is just absolutely blowing my mind. I'm glad I don't have any hair right now, because you've been blowing it right off.
But the Google form is not fun. It's not inspirational. I mean, this is inspirational. Imagine you can put on that really what I love, what is needed. I mean, somehow, and I
but
mean,
you
yeah,
can also add the
you
it would
can
be
also
really
add new
great
tasks.
to add
Yeah,
to say,
yeah,
oh, my piece of the puzzle isn't here. And that's
yeah.
actually what it is when you think about it, is a piece of a puzzle. And all this, I think in Canvas, there's something about a jigsaw. I don't know what it is, but you know, if you looked at the bigger picture, even if it was that snail, right, the original snail that we had, and you turned it into a jigsaw puzzle, and each one of those little pieces, when you start putting them all together, you have the whole. Wow.
So yeah, so this one I think can add to that. It's amazing. Yeah. Sorry.
It's a key piece. This provides that intrinsic motivation to participate. It's like making people feel like they're worthwhile, they're growing, they're doing what they love, they're adding value to the world, and they're able to get paid for it.
But it also shortens the time to get doing what you love to do. Because imagine how long it's taken us to find our place, right?
Yeah.
You know, if this is set up, you know, in a place, I think Catalyst is like that, because it was a warm, welcoming, fail safe place to be, you know, that it was like, okay, now I can discover this. But now people can go, okay, oh, here it is. Boom, I'm doing this. I've just cut off 8 months of exploration and creating it.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it does. It's actually, because always what's the best way to welcome people is kind of make them in the comfort zone, right? Of what they like and what they can do and how they can help. And so that's really something. And I think in the model that you show, Nori, and what you design, it should be before everything, right? It should be before the little fish, or before. I mean, that's the first, when you come, this is how you get onboarded. So it's not little fish and then the Ikigai. Ikigai.
You got it.
It's before the Ikigai. The Ikigai should be before, if it makes sense.
Yep.
So it's not only related to little fish, it can be related also to PBL or to the bounties even, right?
For sure. The PBL is just kind of the doorway to get oriented. So we have some onboarding courses. And as part of that, we can describe what's the Ikigai model, what's the exercise, how do you find your Ikigai? And that kind of leads to the little ship, because we're going to have to explain what a little fish colony is and how the actions work and why this model helps you find your Ikigai. Because your Ikigai isn't something that you just put, because you have to get paid for it. And if you're not paid for it, it's not your Ikigai. And that being paid for it depends on other people saying, yes, it's valuable, we'll pay for it. So if there's a discovery process there to say, is this my Ikigai? And somebody says, no, we don't want to pay for that. You go, okay, I love this. What about this? Is this my Ikigai? And then they go, yes, we're going to pay for that. And then
so in saying that too, I'm thinking about Van Gogh. You know, it's like he put his out there at a time when people weren't ready for it. And then so whatever goes out there also needs to be recorded, you know, somewhere, you know, so that maybe it's not the right time for it or the right community, but that we have the catalyst for it and it shows up somewhere, you know, that this is where it came from. So I'm also thinking about George coming in with his gifts, his seeking for Ikigai through Cardano for Climate, and he's finding it somewhere else, right? He was still here and still part of this system. So I don't know. Does that make any sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense for me, and this is why I think the Ikigai should be in the orange place, the orange basically place in my view. And I understand what you say about the payment, but we can put all the things that needed. We can fill up all the things that needed, right? And then people can start taking, okay, everything that is needed is here. This is all the action needed. And then people can say, it's needed, but I also love to do it. So he put it in his love to do it area. Or so people can move the thing that is needed, and you can even add new things that you think that are needed and kind of move it into the Ikigai. I don't know if it makes sense. We can move it into into I love to do it, and actually people are willing to pay for that. Maybe we can have every square. What one idea could be that every action will have 4 squares. Okay, and the action, it will have a square, and it will mark, okay, this action is a paid action. Okay, this action is
A leveling up action. It's a volunteer action. Yeah.
Or it's a volunteer action, right? Somehow to put inside the action the parameter of the Ikigai. No, I'm just, no, okay, just a thought for now. Yeah, fly with me.
Yeah, I think, Ikigai is complicated in the way that 2 of the circles are you, and 2 of the circles are
community.
Yeah, it's outside of you. It's like what the world needs and what somebody will pay for.
No, but we can put in the circle that connect paid for a need. We can put all the actions, right, in the small place. So, or we can use actually this circle to put all the action in the need and paid for, and whatever is needed and paid for, we can put it in the middle. The action is there, right? And then people can take it basically themselves to what they are interested in, are good at, and love.
Because then we're taking a small circle, Cardano for climate, and we're just chunking this out, to do that. Yeah, absolutely.
And that will be massive. So Cardano for climate community put what is needed and what is willing to pay for. And then each member can take that and put whatever he loves and whatever he is doing best.
Fabulous.
I mean, I love it.
So one of the tips in the Miro verse was to, whatever you do, create it 100%. Did you know about that, Nori?
No, what does that mean?
Well, whenever you're creating something, make it 100% so it's standard across everything. I know I like shrinking stuff and that too, but I like what you're doing. So I'm not sure how it actually works when you have something small within the 100%. So your main board should be 100%, whatever you're working on. And I guess to move around, you would shrink.
Yeah, I didn't shrink any of the other stuff. Just the Ikigai says copying in, because it's as big as everything else combined.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. Sorry, and I've gone off on a tangent. So, tutorial for the community. We've got work to do as far as setting up the bounties, what needs to be done, what we don't know needs to be done, other people might know, right? Bringing in from their side, their perspective.
We started doing this little onboarding flow of a concrete thing on how to get community onto Dework. So there's we explain what Dework is, what is Discord, how do the 2 interrelate for bounties, there may be a glossary and a frequently asked questions, and then a short tutorial like getting a role on Discord, try a simple task, search for bounties.
And this seems like a Canvas course.
Yeah, exactly. And to begin with, maybe we do the Canvas course, but we don't have a way of doing this one where we tie certification to roles yet. So in the beginning, it may be a self-selected thing using a simple Discord bot saying, if you are a proposal writer, click the drum icon and it'll automatically grant you that role, kind of how the IOG servers do it. And then as we get more advanced and we have people able to code for us, we may be able to do this. So once they finish a PBL course, it'll grant a Discord role or something like that automatically.
Yeah, Scott would probably be the one to approach on that because he's maybe. I don't know if he's doing coding and Discord, but yeah, he seems to be familiar with bots. I am so glad that there's more than just me here. because this is, it blows my mind. You know, even Yoram coming in says, I don't understand all this stuff. And it's like, that's okay. We don't have to understand all this stuff. But as a community, we each have this little piece of the puzzle and bring it together.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wow.
But I think what Yoram was talking about, the Ikigai model, I think that's worth exploring and making that maybe one of the fundamental
Values.
principles or values of C4C is this is why we're here, or one of the big reasons why we're obviously here for climate change and so impact, but we also want people to thrive. And like the Simon Sinek thing, we want people to get up out of bed excited to go to work, feel safe while they're there, and then go home feeling fulfilled. Yeah. The feeling fulfilled, I think Ikigai sends you down that path because you're doing the stuff that, that really matters. And
I want to add to that one element which is important in my view, is the which is not in the Ikigai somehow. First of all, I mean, I love the idea, and I think our objective is that everyone will be in the middle, right? I mean, that's the objective eventually, somehow. But there's another element which I think is important, which is the relationship of your Ikigai to the community. Okay, and it comes kind of in the need of the community, but it's also, yeah, I'm trying to think how the connection there. I mean, in the sense, you know, let me define it a little bit different, and then tell me a little bit philosophical. But I mean, to be happy, sometimes you need to know what is sadness. Okay, so I don't know if to get your best Iki, and appreciate it all the time, because if you always, you need some time to fail, you need some time to do things that you don't like, right? Then you appreciate your Ikigai, because if you're all the time in vacation, you don't appreciate the vacation, right? I mean, eventually, after 1 month vacation with my wife, I was okay. Give me some work. I need some work.
Yeah.
So you understand my point, right?
Yeah, and Cardano for climate as a little fish colony won't fit anybody's Ikigai 100%. Absolutely guaranteed. There are going to be stuff that you love to do, that you're good at, the world needs, that C4C absolutely won't want to pay for. But the beauty of the colony model is there may be another colony that would be willing to pay for that other thing. So then you're part of 2 or 3 or 10 colonies. And then eventually a lot of the stuff you love to do can be covered by different groups. And along the way, I think the one thing that really needs to be emphasized with the colony model is you're doing actions first and finding out later if someone wants to pay for it. So there's going to be a lot of disappointment, possibly. There's certainly going to be a lot of learning to find out what is it that C4C values that I'm doing. And you may do a lot of things that never get rewarded in that way. But there's a chance someone else may pay for it because they find it's valuable.
Or again, it might not be the right time.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. So just the thing is to do it and just follow your heart and do it. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, that's the little fish part, right? I mean, definitely. If you love something, just do it, and then, and that's how we started, to be honest.
So
for climate, right?
One other piece I'm thinking about is a directory. You know, like where does somebody coming in, how do they find stuff? How do they find where to go? To me, that's key, because coming into Cardano, period, you can get lost in the ocean of information until you find the pond or the island.
But this is completely why the actions of something you like and good at is a key. Because because if you come from a comfortable position,
see,
and you start,
but again, you have to find going
again. Yeah.
You have to find that. So some sort of a place, because this may not be for everybody either, right? We're assuming that everybody wants to do this full time, and this is where they're going. Other people may be here part time.
Yeah.
That just they're in here for 5 minutes. They want to see the price of ADA go up and they're out of here, right? Who knows? We don't know why people show up, but
That's
yeah.
a great bounty for the impact onboarding is create a directory or start that or something like that. We're funded to help onboard for impact. And it could also be something that's under community collaboration standards. Maybe it's a best practice to create a directory.
Well, that's the piece where I'm thinking about people in the colonies and offering these gifts. They, you know, you can give a gift or a work or a piece of work that lays there. Nobody knows about it. So there's the communication piece, the connecting piece that's really critical. Like the promotion of this idea. Some people will do something that's very quiet. I'm thinking about a tech person that's super introvert and they're not speaking out about what they're doing. They're doing this amazing work. And then there's that piece in there that says, whoa, have you seen this? And maybe that's connected also to the directory, but it's also connected to some sort of promotion so that people know about it. I'm thinking about Van Gogh again, you know, and it's like, he was weird. Like he was a weird guy, right? He had a weird personality. And I'm saying that in a quotation. I don't believe that he was weird. He was who he is, but people saw him as being weird. And that was a piece that would have disconnected him from people realizing the amazing work that he was doing.
Hello.
Hey-o.
There's my lovely daughter.
Hey, lovely daughter. You have to.
She cannot hear you. Huh?
You
are
have
very
to,
busy. Okay.
You have
She's
to
very
say
busy.
names again, so we know lovely daughter names.
Anna, she's very busy.
Anna.
She doesn't have time for us.
Okay. So.
But yeah, that was basically kind of some of the brainstorming that happened yesterday. Just to.
Excellent. Well done on that.
Mm-hmm. And you've got the recording of that in there.
We have meeting notes.
Fabulous. And we have no notes on this one, so it's just going to be maybe a bounty on notes. You know, if somebody can watch the recording and take notes.
Yeah,
it'd be absolutely fabulous.
No, this is an interesting one because the bounty. It's a big question if it's related to an action or to task, right? Like taking notes for one video, for example, is a task more than an action, right? But taking notes over 2 weeks or 1 month, that can be an activity, right? Or an action.
Yeah.
So
my hope is most things happen through actions over time. And then bounties are just for those things we have to have done that nobody wants to do. And then we can incentivize them somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it covers both ends of stuff. You know, you're doing the actions, you're doing the stuff that you love to do and hope to get paid for. And other ones are like, what can I do? Yeah. What can I do to get paid for? Oh, I can pick this up. I had no idea this was available. Mm-hmm. You know, but even this is one thing too, watching the recording, timestamps, adding a description and taking notes. You know, there's all sorts of things that would be super, super helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's actually a really good point. If we record the meetings and we don't have anybody taking notes, that doesn't have to happen in real time. Mm-hmm. Somebody can watch the video, catch up, and at the same time take notes. And maybe somebody's motivated because they want to know what's going on and they're good at taking notes, so they might as well do it. But they couldn't be at that meeting.
Really, when you think about it, note taking during a meeting sucks.
Yeah.
Really sucks big time because you're trying to listen to somebody else and your brain is working slowly writing these things down. Mm-hmm. And you're missing the flow of stuff. So maybe that could even be a thing that we do, is the note taking. You know, maybe we've got agendas, so we're staying on track for time wise, but the note taking part of it for record keeping happens afterwards. and whoever shows up at the meeting is doing the brainstorming.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I saw a very cool application called Fireflies. I don't know if you know this one. And it's actually taking note when you have a Zoom call or Google Meet calls. It's actually taking notes. It's actually
Oh, it's
basically,
recording everything that we say.
yeah. So it's not taking notes, it's recording everything. But then you can basically just delete what you don't want from the text. And that can be a summary of a conversation.
Again, that's a task for somebody to do though, right? You know, somebody would have to go through that, read. So there's a reading one, there's the listening one to the video. Yeah, I think this, but you know, the other thing is that to find the pieces in our recordings that are really key, that's another job, you know, putting those on a timeline. Yeah, this is when that idea of the honor system fruit stand happened, right here in this moment. You know, it's on the timeline and then somebody records that. Many possibilities. So this is pretty cool.
Mhm.
And we're at 1/4 already. So what's this?
Otter
Otter?
AI is a similar thing. It'll transcribe and it'll even detect voices and say, if it knows
Nori.
this voice is Yoram and Nori, it'll put who is speaking on the notes that it creates.
Wow. It'll depend on who pronounces Ikigai right or not.
Yes.
I think you've got it now, Yoram.
Ikigai, yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's one thing that I did in my other life. Education assistant was help people with things like my name, Melanie. Remembering my name, it's Melanie. And then I point, what do you do with this? You smell? And I point to my knee. And then it's like, my name, it's Melanie. It's Melanie. So,
Okay, when we close the recording, I will tell you and also a story, different one. But
okay, we done?
yeah.
We done the recording? I want to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe we should chop that last bit off, but anyways.